Hey everybody, this is Steven Galata with Brutal Residence, and I'm here with the wonderful gentleman behind the industrial metal band Decent News. Guys, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, good. So the first question I'm gonna break off with, and I already warned you about this, Eddie, is your name. Eddie LaFlash. Is that your actual name right there? Because it sounds like
Yes.
something out of a superhero comic.
No, that's legitimately my last name. My dad used to tell me that back when our family lived in Canada or whatever, they didn't know how to read or write, so they simplified it and just made it so anytime I go into a bar, I either have to talk about superheroes or fucking have my passport or something, so I can be like, yeah, it's my real fucking name. So
Yeah,
just
because I
give
mean,
me a gin and tonic.
because I remember like the first time I actually saw that, like when I saw Eddie LaFlash of Decent News, I was just like, that can't be real. There's no way that's real. The first thing that came to my mind was like that shitty '80s movies, Flash Gordon. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought
Hey,
about. But
if it
He's
helps.
getting out his social security card.
Yeah, yeah. What parts do I block out?
all of
None
it,
of them.
Yeah, I don't know if this helps at all.
LaFlash, it's there. It has to be real. I don't know. You don't have as much facial hair in
Me
that
and my
photo though.
document. Fuck.
So
Do I need it notarized from a bank?
His
yeah,
dad made him get a tattoo. Ask him for his baby pictures.
yeah. I want every single piece of information about your history before I can believe this.
Fuck with baby pictures.
Yeah, see, that's my last name.
Like, were you ever on like a baseball team and you had like a jersey with your last name on it, like LaFlash on the back?
He has a
That's
hockey jersey with LaFlash on it.
No,
there
I
we
don't.
go.
So what's I thought it was LaFlash on it.
No, it's a Rick Nash jersey.
Oh, Rick Nash, LaFlash. I
That has a
can't
ring
read.
to it.
None of us can read.
All right. So getting into a little band history here. How'd you all meet? Were you guys like childhood friends and grew up together, or what?
Um,
You and Connor
yeah, I met Connor
in the womb.
like sixth grade in school,
Yeah.
and we've been friends since.
Nice.
I met Laken and Caleb, who's not here. I met them like freshman year of high school, and we've been friends since.
Mm-hmm.
So I've basically interacted with the same like five people for more than half my life.
No, I thought you hated me in high school.
Yeah, I don't know why. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, yeah, I think I actually remember that topic being broached in when we did the interview when I was doing the SoundCloud shit before that went downhill, and you guys were talking
Yeah,
about how you,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what exactly happened? Why'd you think Eddie hated you? Was it just like you just went up to him and like, hey, how you doing? He like kicked you in the balls or something?
Uh,
no worse. I didn't
yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
We hung out all the time, and he
If
thought I hated him.
yeah, if he had done that, maybe it would be different. But no, I'm an antisocial piece of shit. And so I had one friend in middle school, and then I through high school made one friend, and then after high school I made one more friend, and that's how that worked out. I think it's one every few decades.
I thought you said you couldn't read.
I know my numbers, Connor. What do you think? I'm stupid?
Um,
No, yeah, after I thought he hated me in high school, even though we sat at the same lunch table every day.
And hung out, and
And then after high school, we hung out, and like the first day, I was like, I thought you hated me.
so
And
when
he said no, and then we showed each other our peepees and stuff, and
it's like you have the same birthmark,
yeah,
and now we have superpowers, so it's pretty cool.
was it like something out of like Tenacious D? You ever see that movie?
Oh, fuck, that wasn't Tenacious D.
Yeah, it was like
that's what I did. I said Tenac right after the peepee thing too.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I tried watching it like the other day because I was just in the mood for something really fucking stupid, and it's pretty bad. It has its moments, but it's pretty fucking bad. So,
I was
um,
wondering if that movie held up at all because I do think about it every once in a while, but I don't really like Tenacious D that much.
yeah,
So,
I'll
I,
say that the music actually holds up really well. Like
yeah,
the Kickapoo song and the Final Battle with the Devil, those hold up. They may still make me laugh, but the actual movie itself just it doesn't.
yeah,
So, um,
all right.
Laken, when was it that you
Yeah.
actually thought like, hey, maybe this guy actually likes me?
No, I didn't think that I at all. I he's like, hey, you want to hang out? And then my girlfriend, who I also knew since middle school, was like, "Why don't you go hang out and see what happens?" And basically telling me not to sit in the house all day. And then I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll hang out with."
I like how her approach it was like, "Oh, you make it sound like you've never interacted with this person before. Go out; it'll be something nice to do." And we
Yeah.
like did hang out for like 4 fucking years before that.
I never went to his house during high school or any of that. So after high school is when we actually hung out.
Gotcha.
I feel like this is the recipe of joining a cult, but you just joined a band.
Yeah, well, we did at one point. Him and a few other dudes, the other like 3 people, two or 3 people in the friend group, lived in one place, and the cottage for reference, and we used to drink and stuff because we all worked at the same place and we all had like the same hours and we were all sick the same days we stayed home. So we would drink, and I think one point we ended up baptizing each other. He had his socks on, if that
You
matters.
guys waterboarded me.
Yeah,
You started
baptized.
screaming Latin shit over me.
He ascended, and so now he's
Yeah, he just gave
purified.
you a background of what a baptism is.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's when we all became
Most
real
baptisms
friends.
are done at Guantanamo Bay anyway, so I get it.
And
Oh no, I thought he needed me.
when was it that you guys picked up like your first instrument? I mean, you guys all knew each other from high school or before that, from what I'm hearing. So when did the idea to form this band come up?
I started playing stuff when I was like 12, just like learning to play stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me you got a guitar, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you're with me now.
Yeah, my family didn't have money for instruments or food or instruments. And we got it was
I think any of our families had money growing up.
yeah, my wife's family was middle class.
She saw $1 once.
Yeah, they had so many dollars, and one time they got me this clearance guitar, and I call it clearance guitar because it was the first guitar, and it sounded like shit, but it was cool. So
It was the 5-finger discount.
yeah,
It was like that part in Blues Brothers where Ray Charles shoots at the fucking little kid trying to steal the guitar.
he said I can have it, but only if I'm fast enough, and I got it. And then Eddie's like, "You have a guitar?" And then I said, "Yeah." And then he's like, "You're totally in the band." I said, "Cool." And that's
Most of our lore takes place in the game Jet Set Radio Future. That's why all the dialogue's wonky. But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
we're trying to save space on bucks.
So the band itself, though, you got Laken involved, and when did everybody else join?
Connor's been always skulking around
Yeah.
since before.
I'm always in the background.
Well, when Lake got his guitar, that's when we had like a different band. It was still the same exact thing, but it was mostly just me, Laken, and this other kid that did like some synthesizer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hopscotch and the Tickle Fancies.
Yeah.
That was the band that I went into.
Yeah.
So it was already a band.
And Decent News came from this kid we knew, our first and only drummer ever, this kid Colin. He was looking to put together a band, and he needed like a guitarist and like a bassist. So I went to rehearse, and then I just dragged Laken along the next like practice. I don't even think I told them. I just think I gave you one of my basses, and then I loaded you in my car, and then we just went to the Yukon campus.
No, there was another kid, a vocalist, which plays a part. There were 4 of us.
Uh-huh.
And we were changing the name. It wasn't Decent News yet, and it was just like whatever random crap. But I think it was still Hopscotch and the Tickle Fancies.
No, it was like Frequency or some shit.
Oh yeah. We had there was somebody in between for a little bit, and they wanted Frequency, and then we were like, okay, we'll do that. And then after he left, we decided to like pick a name. We made a voting system, but it would always be 2 to 2, and we were like, oh, well, what if you get 2 extra points and we all got 2 extra, and just put the same amount into everything, but it was bigger numbers. And we actually would have won. It would have been called A Few Boys, but the vocalist did not like that at all. And then we ended up with.
That's my only regret in life is not making the band called A Few Boys.
It was a fight between Decent News and A Few Boys, but Decent News,
It was easier to design for because
they're both easy to design for, but
A Few Boys, I just kept making boys all capitalized because I thought it was funny. That's like all I got from it was like, yeah, it'll be like a few up top and then real big will just say boys. It's like that's about as far as I can go with this joke. And then for Decent News, it was like, oh, we could do the whole, analog horror thing, or like we could do the color bars, or
yeah,
staticky or whatever.
You can make Connor do all the art.
Well, yeah.
Oh well, yeah, not the Decent. Well, yeah, but no.
Yeah. Like Connor does like all the artwork, but like I do all the typography and like the logo shit.
I didn't know how to separate those with words. Like
It's okay.
type bar.
I know what the word kerning means, and that means I'm a graphic designer.
Capitalize. That's big letter.
We've not talked to this man in like 5 minutes.
Wait, we just yeah. So
That's the question.
It was almost.
I'm fine, man. I'm enjoying the rambling, so.
It was almost. It was 50-50 only because of this one guy who wasn't even. He just wanted to be part of the band for a little bit, and that is what turned the tide to Decent News.
Yeah.
So you guys went into this. You guys went into this drummer's band, from what I understand, and then you hijacked it and turned it into your own.
Yeah, and then Caleb showed up.
Gotcha. So did you beat up the dude? Is he still alive? Is he somewhere on this earth, or did you bury him in your backyard?
Like, we hear from him every once in a while.
He has this really cool excuse called being a dad.
That's no
Fucking
excuse.
amateur.
Yeah.
Who needs kids?
I'm a dad too.
I'm a dad too.
We're all dads, but he uses the excuse better than us.
I
I have to feed my kid. I have to walk my kid. My kid.
Oh, look.
I have to hug and kiss my kid.
Here's Caleb. Jesus Christ. He did show up.
Yeah, Caleb's always with us. In heart.
Heart and soul, spirit.
Yeah, he's not
So, Connor, they said that you do all the artwork. Did you just kind of doodle throughout your childhood? Did you go to school for it, or is it just something that came naturally to you?
Yeah, it started when I touched my first pencil.
Sounds about right.
And then got to paper. And then it was just chaotic doodlings in corners of papers.
He's just one of the guys who's just good at this. Like, you can't learn what he does.
Yeah.
You don't get...
Unless you have a computer and you go to YouTube.
Unless you have
absolutely learning all of this. Like multiple classes in schools. Then yeah, maybe.
I think the reason we went with Connor for like all the artwork is because a lot of the other album covers, like you see with predominantly like metal bands or even like in industrial bands, they all kind of follow the same motif where it's like hoses and wires or like shit like that, or they're very desaturated. And Connor's like, my vocabulary is like 70 words tops, and Laken's is like 60 words tops.
50.
Yeah,
maybe 90. So like collectively,
it's like that thing where like twins are born and they babble at each other and they kind of just understand. And like when you suck at explaining things and you try telling someone that's like a graphic designer you're paying, it's like, yeah, I got fucking none of that. Here's what I have in my head. And then you look at it, it's like, that's not what I meant at all. And then you look what you sent him, it's like, holy shit, yeah, I'm sorry. But with Connor, it's like, we want bees. Like, all right. And then we have bees. He gets us.
Yeah. And that's actually really nice, just to be able to like tell somebody your concept and just be like, yep, that's it, that's all I got, go do it, and they're done.
Yeah.
You know,
not even that we're strict with anything, but like we've used people on Fiverr for stuff, which is fine. I like Fiverr a lot.
Yeah, you used off that for whatchamacallit, the Chrome Core split, right?
Yeah. Which that worked out great. But you know, sometimes, especially, I think it's mostly because I'm like, oh, this person's gonna do all this for only $5, and you get it. It's like, oh, yeah, it was $5. But still, like, even the higher price ones, I've had someone be like, yeah, could you draw this? Here's some reference photos, and then they just trace the reference photos. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, but no, Connor's cool.
Yeah, no, I've had that problem too, like just browsing through Fiverr.
Reference photos.
It's
Yeah.
ironic because Connor had just showed us that all the tracings.
But yeah, no, I've had that problem before too with like people on Fiverr. Like I look at their stuff and like a lot of the artists on there, I'm pretty sure is just using like Mid Journey and shit like that to create AI album covers. And I was just like, because I'm trying to increase my stable of artists that I use on the label at least, but I'm always just kind of going back to the same person that I normally use because he's trustworthy and he just gets it done like that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, let's let's do a little shameless self promotion here. The cassette that you released on Brutal Resonance, you guys did the previously mentioned split with Chrome Corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just talk about it. Let me. What was up with the songs? What were you guys thinking? And why is there a big titty shemale on the cover art?
What the fuck did you do, Eddie?
Yeah, so I've been tight with Michael for a while.
Why is my mom on this album?
Yeah, I've been tight with Michael from Chrome Corps for a long time, and I think the two songs that were on the split were ones left over from Monolith because we kind of ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we just stopped setting deadlines for ourselves. But the two songs that were left over, it's like, well, I'm not gonna let them go to waste. Michael had some songs left over, so like, yeah, just put it on a split, whatever. The big tittied lady is actually just Laken.
Thank you.
I commissioned that lady on Fiverr to draw a geisha with Laken's face committing seppuku. She's like, okay, that reads normal. And then I got it. It's like, that's fucking perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything more like that was in my head. It's like, yeah, it's perfect. And the no expression in your face on it is the funniest part.
I'm doing it for honor.
This doesn't hurt me because I'm doing it for a greater purpose.
It's an honorable sacrifice for the band.
You got rack on a set of tits too.
For the band?
You know, I actually
My
went because I really liked the artwork that she did for Geisha, you know, and I went looking for that artist on Fiverr the one time because I was like, maybe I'll commission her for something, and I saw that she was no longer accepting commissions at that time at least, so kind of makes me wonder what you guys did to her.
You probably stopped after that.
She was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's funny. Anytime we commission anything on Fiverr, we always get a message back because there's always like the thing at the bottom where it's like, when you do the order, it's like, can this artist display, you know, the work that they did for you? Anytime they accept an offer, no matter what it's been, they're like, please don't check that box. We use Fiverr a lot for the promos we did for Monolith. We found some like British guy that was doing spokesman shit, and that's the one where he just shit on us the whole time. Like I think you and me wrote out the script where it was just the most insane shit that you would see in a commercial. It was like the slip and fall lawyer commercial thing that we yeah, and like we sent him the script, like, yeah, that's brilliant, I'll do that. Don't check that box. Like, all right.
I get it though. They want to maintain some sort of professionalism on the site so they get more customers. So
Well, fuck them, they're on Fiverr.
yeah, I mean, but it's still valid.
You're charging like a one-digit number for a service. Integrity doesn't really fall in line with that.
For the price too. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's like for somebody to get dressed up and then record all that and like put everything together and send it to somebody for one-digit number is pretty crazy.
I think my favorite one on Fiverr, just because of how insane the script was that I gave the guy. The guy's thing was like, oh, I'll be your spokesman for $5, but for $5 more, I can wear like a construction worker outfit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't need that, but I like that that's on the table. But
$5 more, I'll take the construction outfit off in slow-mo.
Should have asked
for
if that was an
$5
option.
more, I'll build a small shed in your backyard. But the script I gave him was just fucking insane, and like, because the whole script was about like how he, what the fuck? The point was, it was just supposed to be a mock commercial, and the punchline was it was for like red licorice coins as a product. But everything before it was him talking about how his 400-pound mother got trapped in a burning building, and he was like praising Boston firefighters. And he's like, I couldn't go check on her because I fell asleep in my houseboat and I drifted off into the sea. But I had this garbage bag filled with Sheriff Hill's red licorice coins. And his deadpan delivery and it was fucking great. I like that a lot. That was $5 well spent.
And I guess the next question is, where do these ideas come from? Then, is it just? I mean, I know that the band's name is Decent News, so does that kind of like intertwine with the videos that you create for the promos?
Well, they come directly from Caleb Extract.
What?
And before we sit down and write anything, we make sure to we put glue at the end of a stick, and then we pour Caleb Extract on it, and then we use it like an incense.
Yeah.
And then we close all the doors and windows and put blankets over the blinds and stuff. And we sit to let it ferment for a while.
And after a short nap.
And yeah, after a short nap, we wake up with words on paper.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually running out of Caleb essence, but my girlfriend told me what sage was, so we're gonna try that.
I don't think it's gonna work as good.
And if that doesn't work, she's the next Caleb.
We basically do this.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, whenever it's for whatever.
we'll get caught up on some small detail in something and why it's funny, and then we just build off of it. So it's not even originally what we were talking about, and then with things like Fiverr, because like for all this we used to be like big into film and we'd film our own short little dumb videos and stuff, but it's like I can just have someone else do this and that makes it a million times more funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's where a lot of the ideas come from, is just getting off the rails on weird tangents and then having someone else fucking do it.
Gotcha. So, have you ever had any problems actually getting somebody to do your promos for you? Has anyone ever was just like, no, I can't do this?
I've had Fiverr block one of my scripts because it sounded like I was threatening them. It's actually from the same video as a lawyer one. The guy that holds up the sign that says "fuck decent news," and I had him labeled as Mark McGrath. But I kept trying to send it to him. She's like, "Yes, I'll do whatever. Send me the script." And Fiverr's like, "We will not send this because it violates our terms and services. And it was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I'm looking at it, and it's literally looked like I was threatening the guy. It's like, hey, use external links. Fuck, what do I do? But
Did you wind up?
We've also had like whenever we do like a video, whenever we do a video, there would be like Zach or Kill Me Caleb who would just straight up say no, that's stupid, and then not do it.
yeah, we're our own people that get in our own way.
Gotcha. It's kind of like a comedy improv thing, in a sense.
Yeah, kind of
Loosely.
loose.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly that.
Either that, or I could even compare it to like the guys on South Park where they just sit in a room and just bullshit around until they create an episode.
Yeah, but they're really good at it.
Yeah, and they have a lot of money.
That, but for
And they're funny. But we're like the $5 version.
See, the
The
guys
Fiverr
from
version.
South Park, they can't tell you how much a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon is, but I can. It's $7.99. With tax, it's like $8.35.
You should know.
I should know.
Well, now I know. So
Pass it along.
I will. I'm gonna post it on Brutal. I'm gonna say Decent News says that Pop's Blue Ribbon is $7.99, and if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Before tax.
Huh?
I don't want to get sued.
Before tax, it's $7.99.
I'm gonna exclude that part so people just rain down on you.
That's fine. I will defend Pabst Blue Ribbon to the death for no particular reason.
I will break a pool stick long before there's even an ounce of a fight.
As far as recent news, let's see what I did there. You guys have a you guys have a new album in the works. Can you guys give me any details on it? Album title, track listing, length.
You're doing it too.
What the hell is going on?
You didn't even shut the door.
Yeah, there's like 16 tracks.
Well, actually, let Connor talk about it. Connor, what's happening with the new album?
Yeah, Mr. didn't work on anything.
They make music, and his name's retarded.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Is that the name of the new album? There's new music and his name's retarded.
That's actually it's a better name. No, new album. We went with Who Would Even Believe You. We just thought it sounded cool. I think no one fought me on it when I just put it on shit, but
Yeah, we share a Google Drive or whatever, and we kind of just make files for each other or
Mhm.
like a song, and we just name it whatever
Yeah.
we feel like, and then it sticks.
It's my favorite Bill Cosby quote.
Jesus Christ!
Off that. I heard you. I
thought you were joking.
And-
yeah, there's 16 tracks. They're all, I mean, they're different enough. There's like there's like an R&B banger that Laken wrote that's real cool. One of them's called Mall Shit. We just didn't change the working title name, and we're used to it. I've been told by people I sent it to, one of the tracks is real prog rocky, so I might just get rid of that because fuck prog rock.
What?
Actually, that one that's pretty cool.
What?
So the song that's prog rocky, I guess, it's called Beaumont, and it's named after a guy that me and Connor learned about in school. Because where we grew up in Lebanon, Connecticut, that man was also born there, and he's considered the founding father of knowing how the stomach works.
The stallion of scientists?
Yeah, he's the best scientist.
He's the king of the tummy.
He's tummy king. But what he did was he just was in the right place at the right time. This guy got shot in the stomach, and then this doctor showed up, and he tried to like repair the man as best as he could, but it left like a kind of like a nice chili ring butthole in his side.
Mhm.
So this guy's like, I see an opportunity, and just started putting food and shit in there and seeing what it would do. And the guy's like, I want to go back to my family. You know, this sucks. And he's like,
said, no, I need to root around you like a coin purse.
yeah, pretty much.
Well, he also
He
He let him
tortured this
go.
guy. Yeah, he let him go, and then he just kept finding him again, and then just opening up his hole and like putting shit in there. We found one thing where, because we got big into it when we were writing the song, because the way we learned about it in school was, oh, this guy was a hero, he didn't do anything weird, and then we're reading the documents, he's like, I tasted the fluid from his side hole. It's like, what the fuck? So this guy is a fucking monster. Like, even the medical community's like, yeah, he did discover that, but like, fuck that guy. He's tortured this man for like 15 years, and like, yeah, it was cool.
That's pretty awful.
So there's a song about that.
And I'm assuming that you guys praise him in that song.
No.
Actually, no. You make it sound like
Hear me out. He's a good guy. Is this working title?
he had some good ideas. That's the whole we.
Just two sides.
To every story.
Both are his.
He had it coming. No, we had a hard time writing it because like we knew it was a good idea. And we're thinking of an idea like, oh, one person can do vocals as like the doctor and one could be the patient, and then we just described it as grossly as we could. Not like explicitly vulgar, but per usual, our word choice is like, don't say that. But yeah, no.
There were he had his like a diary or whatever it was, and he had written some stuff in a different language, and one of them was like cinnamon cum, and it meant something else. And we did take, I think, for some of the lyrics, we took pieces of the diary.
Yeah, because one of his last journals, because after the guy went back to like Canada to like not get side raped by this doctor, doctor was writing him letters like, why don't you just fucking come back, you little pussy? And like he's like, I don't get why you don't want to hang out with me anymore. And
remember what we had.
Yeah. Remember when I licked your side? And, like it's like weird shit like that. And
yeah.
it was the equivalent of a bad breakup voicemail that he was just like writing down in like very nice cursive and sending it to this guy. Actually, fun fact: when the guy with the stomach pussy ended up dying, his family just like they didn't embalm him. They left him outside to sun dry like a tomato, so no one would come along and like dig him up and start fucking him again.
And guess who scraped him up?
Actually, he was in an unmarked grave.
Oh wow!
No one knows where that guy's buried.
I
I
don't even
guess.
know what happened after.
Yeah.
Well, better for him. But yeah, no, that actually kind of reminds me of how you ever listen to the band called Skinned, SKYND?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of how they do their songs, because they take the actual recordings, diaries, even commercials that played around the time the serial killer were doing their act, and it's very reminiscent of that. So.
All right. This is the only song we've done any research on.
Oh really?
No. The one about my brother. I did some research on him.
But drinking and remembering him.
Yeah. Let's see. What else oh yeah, A Murder of Science. That has a cool backstory. Caleb actually kind of brought this up, and he wrote the whole song about it because it's kind of funny. So my mom, she loves animals and she likes to rescue them even when they're too far gone. So she had this
Around this bullet hole.
she had this Boston Terrier that had like a cleft palate, and all that dog likes to do is bite things. But she was in her garden. She was in her garden, and her dog took off and like attacked this crow, like caught it and like bit its head, whatever. And so mom was like, "Oh, get away from it!" And so she's holding this bird that has like a hole in its head, and like its scalp is gone. She's like, "Well, I'll nurse it back to health," and she named it. So she put it in a cage and left it outside because it is a bird. And then the rest of that bird's life was this dog running up to the cage and barking at it every fucking day till it died. And my mom was sad because she's like, "Well, I named him Edgar Allan Crow." It's like you kind of tortured that animal till it died, honestly. But your heart was in the right place, I think. But
Our moms are like the same moms, except my mom gets more dick. But they did the same thing. And so my mom did like a pet rescue thing, and it got to the point where, because she did it in-house, there was no stopping anybody who knew about it from taking the animal they just shit on all the time and just drop it off and drive away. And so we'd like come home to like boxes of kittens with like 3 legs or something like that. And then that would basically be that she would hang on to it until it was done and be like, "I'm going to fix them." But somebody else already did like irreversible damage to the animal. Similar moms. Now, more similar than I thought.
you live in like Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I live over in PA.
Yeah, so if you take a 4-hour drive, like just northeast to, eastern Connecticut, it's actually hell, judging by these stories. So,
Sounds like it. So,
yeah, we all grew up like shit.
between
Serial killer.
between Beaumont and mothers who torture animals, like this doesn't sound like a state I want to visit.
Well,
So.
Caleb wrote it from the point of view of the crow, which was nice.
Yeah, Caleb's dark and depressing. So he did it from the guy who is dying, and then from Beaumont's, we did it from the guy doing the murder, basically.
Yeah.
It's a nice twist. Not a twist. It's a nice flip side.
He had some good ideas.
It's not a nice flip side. It's the other, whatever. Salad.
And in comparison, I know you said that there's a couple of songs on there that are going to be different. Like you had that prog rock song, you have something like R&B-ish. People who follow A Decent News, they're expecting more industrial metal than anything because that's what you guys mainly do. How are they going to approach this album? Do you think they're going to like it, or do you think it's a little bit too out there for them?
They're going to like it just as much as all the other shit we put out.
Yeah, our whole fan is going to love at least one song, and they'll hate the rest.
Well, we kind of wrote it from a point of view is like, I feel like with the last 2 albums, we spent a lot of time trying to I want to make this not sound like negative and bitchy. And trying to like impress like the scene, and a lot of it was like not taking certain ideas we had into account. Um, with this, it was like let's just make something we're gonna be happy with, and that's kind of how we ended up with 16 tracks in the first place.
16 tracks about depression.
Yeah. It's all about how my doctor won't give me Lexapro anymore.
Oh, it should be called I'm Sad.
No, the album name's a Bill Cosby joke now, I guess, because you brought that to my fucking attention.
Eddie was always the one that's good with all the instruments, and me and Caleb were still learning. So now me and Caleb are able to contribute more with this one, and Caleb does more like primo rock stuff, and then I do like video game shit, and then Eddie has his side. So we just kind of mash it all together. But now we have, I would say, more of like my and Caleb's style into it now because Eddie won't have to write the entire song of everything.
Well, it's not that I even did that before. It's even before you guys would like still contribute and shit. Just now, it's just more of it from all sides.
So like John Wayne Gacy meets Super Smash Brothers.
I don't mean as Kirby. Tier.
I do imply that John Wayne Gacy would be Kirby in the Nintendo universe.
Yeah, low tier character. Kirby. Don't pick Kirby in Melee.
That's all I pick. Kirby's a cheap piece of shit, and I suck at Smash.
You know, my because of Smash Brothers, my wife actually hates Kirby. Like the one day I bought Smash for the Switch, and I was just like, she loves Nintendo all her life, so we were just like sitting down to play, and I picked Kirby, and I forget who she picked, but I whooped her ass really hard, like 3 matches in a row, and because I've been playing Kirby since like GameCube. You know, I'm not a pro and I'm not that good at it, but in comparison to somebody who doesn't play that often, you know, I could go hard.
Jump above someone and turn into like Rock, and then just wreck their shit over and over.
Yeah, I also like to suck them up and then spit them off the side and just against the ledge of the stage and just bounce them off. So, but yeah, and because of that, she absolutely hates Kirby. Like she can't stand him. She wants to kill it. I can't show her anything about Kirby anymore. So.
That's how my wife is about Pikachu. She would pick Pikachu, and I just beat the shit out of her. And now she doesn't want to play games.
And then we turn the game on.
Yeah.
If you love me, you'll keep playing. My ego is low right now.
Laken and Caleb are like the best Smash players that like I've ever seen, because like me and Connor suck at it.
Yeah. My goal is to stand in the middle and not be seen.
Yeah, but he does the Luigi wins tactic, because he'll walk off the edge and die, but somehow still be like one of the last people alive.
Yeah, I'm just a bystander to the ass whipping.
Well, if you're not noticed, you won't get hit. So.
Like a nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
I do want to go back and I do want to go back real quick and mention something that you or talk about something that you mentioned earlier, which was you said with the previous albums you were trying to impress the scene, right? Are you talking about like the industrial scene as a whole?
I mean, just in general, because we've gotten friction from both sides, and it's not everyone, but like some criticisms you get are like just personal preference things.
Yeah.
And you know, you kind of learn like, well, you can't really impress, you know, everyone, and it's not that like we're content with the past 2 albums.
Yeah.
Just let's just try and expand a little more and just do something that's a little different, something that's, you know, that we're gonna be happy with.
Yeah.
And that's mostly it. But like even from the metal scene, we get shit from not having a drummer. Like, well, how about you guys find us one that's gonna like show up on time and play in time?
Yeah. You find a drummer for us that'll play for free.
You find a guy that's willing to work for fucking Red Rope Licorice and fucking Jelly Beans.
You know, is there a Fiverr drummer?
Yeah. Fiverr has everything.
Yeah, but that's not free, Connor.
Yeah, who's he gonna show up?
No, you know he's not. You almost didn't show up.
Now, did you ever actually feel like intense pressure to actually please one side or the other, or is it just kind of like you guys trying to please both at the same time?
Eddie,
What? No, not really. Not really. It's I don't know. Yeah, everyone likes different things, and when you try and hear everyone's feedback at once, it's like it's impossible to please everyone.
Yeah.
So
Don't show that easy. Don't show it.
fired immediately.
but yeah, it's not from a place of like, well, I'm gonna be a sad little bitch now. It's more like, hey, just trying to please.
Already said.
I don't feel anything. I just punch stuff.
It's like trying to, I don't know, you can't please everyone,
Yeah.
and if you try and do that, you end up with a product that you're not happy with. So let's just do something we're gonna be happy with as little outside influence as possible.
What Eddie's trying to say is, there were a few shows we played, and one, I think, at 99 Golden, is that the New London one?
33.
33 Golden.
Rest in
Damn.
peace, Craig.
No, yeah, Craig was awesome. But also, we played a show. There's a few shows where this guy would show up, and he was like this rave dancer, and he would just go crazy everywhere.
That guy was fucking awesome. I
He-
love him.
Danced to every band the whole time with like no breath, no water, no. That's it.
Wait,
He just went.
Is he Craig? Is he dead?
no, Craig was the bartender, the tall guy.
But if there was a way,
Dancing man, I don't know where he is.
yeah, if there was a way, well, Craig will show up again. With
He's
with
someone on the shelf.
if there's a way to find out what he likes and make him show up, yes,
He showed up to like every show
yeah,
after he saw us the first time. Actually, me and Caleb like just kept seeing that guy there, and he was like dancing to everything. So that's actually why we made Substance as fast as we did, because it's like, let's see if he can dance to this, and we put weird time signatures in it. Dancing guy danced to it.
yeah.
Great. He's always very dehydrated. I'm sure his pee is like brown or red, but it's all right. I like him a lot. I'd always buy him drinks after. Very nice.
And his pee.
We love all of his pee. Every color of his pee.
And when do you guys think that this album will be out?
Good question. Since Machine Man Records is now dead,
Rest
We're-
in peace.
we don't have deadlines anymore. So we're gonna get a good mix of it finished, and then
We didn't really have a deadline. We were doing it for like 4 years.
no, well, yeah, but I used to have a bad habit of telling Chris like, oh yeah, it's gonna be done soon,
Oh.
and then it's like, Caleb will go in his like thing where like when he shows up, he'll chip away at it little at a time. It's like, oh fuck, we're behind, and then it's like, Caleb, we have 2 fucking days, and then he just does the whole thing, and
Yeah, we used to have Caleb show up, and we'd it would work out nice when we were both there because we could bully him into finishing something,
yeah,
and now we don't have to bully him, but
we still do. Don't
Yeah.
get us wrong.
Yeah.
Everything about him, we will make him reflect on himself, and have him realize that he's a piece of shit, and like, we can eat wheat, why can't you?
we don't hate him. We just want him to feel like he's wrong about every opinion he has.
But since we all have a deadline, we're just gonna try and shop it around, see if anyone wants it, and take it from there. Really, I mean, everything's basically done. It's just down to like the mixing and mastering, and then finding someone that'll actually put it out there.
Gotcha.
We could self-release it, but that's like too much effort.
And we're short. Well, Eddie's taller, but the rest of
You're
us.
the only one that's short.
Damn.
You're the only one below 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and I have the least amount of hair.
I'm catching up.
Give it to me. Sex, not the hair.
Enter my mouth and give me your hair.
We're done. We're done with the album. We
Mhm.
just need to mix it and release it. I think
Yeah,
We're
pretty
like-
much.
we royally, because Eddie was doing it, are almost done mixing it. As far as I remember from skulking around the Texas, and
Yeah.
we want to release it just as much as that one fan wants us to.
Well, at least you guys have one.
There's honestly not really any hold on, but we're still taking our time because it's just bad people.
Yeah, we're a few boys.
Yeah, we're bad people.
Bad guys.
But yeah, because it has been 4 years since we've done anything. We started working on this right after Monolith, but it's been nice taking our time.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, on Brutal's label, I don't really give out deadlines for anything because I'm the type of person who's just like, when you're ready, you're ready. I'm not going to force that upon anyone. I think it's kind of stupid. It creates
Chris
pressure.
wouldn't like force it. It was mostly like my fault for being like, yeah, it's gonna be done by then, and then it's like 2 weeks away, and we're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, he would ask a time, and Eddie would feel like an obligation to give like a timeline, like a kind of linear timeline, instead of like, we're still working on it, and then Eddie would feel pressure after he gave himself a timeline, but then also Chris would be like, so is it done? Because you told me this time, and then that it would be like a loop.
Well, the thing with how Machine Man like was run, which it was smart because it took a lot of pressure.
What kind of food could we put in here?
Dicks. The way the label was set up, which was smart on Chris because it funneled like how much shit he had to deal with at a time. But if you like didn't put in at a certain time, you'd have to wait like another 3 or 6 months before your shit came out. And us being impatient, especially after Filth, because it's like that didn't go as good as it could have.
That went as best it could.
Honestly, no, we were in really fucking deep, and it's like we can't redo all of this. But yeah, it's like, well, we could probably get it out by August. That's cool. And then it was like June or July, and then it's like we really got to get this shit done. And then all it really was like waiting on like Caleb to do his retakes, and then he banged it all out in one day, and then we could breathe a little bit. But we still had the 2 unfinished tracks, but those came out anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we kind of just, while we're waiting to get one of us to finish a part, we work on other stuff, so we have we have a pretty good backlog of just a bunch of random shit.
I think for this album there was like 80 demos between the 3 of us, but most of them were his. Like, yeah, I think you had like 60 demos, and then 50 maybe, and then I had like maybe 20 to 30, and Caleb had like 4.
Caleb has this, Caleb learned how to record something and then send it to us, and
not on a click track.
Yeah, when he found out how to like put it on the Google Drive, he just kept putting it there and then sending us a link to the same exact thing, but like months of space. And he'd be like, here's the mud, which was like the code name for it, and then we'd hear go, oh cool, and then he'd go, here's the mud, and it's it's like a riff, and he would just keep sending it to us.
No, the mud was literally him reworking the track from Monolith and sending it to us over and over again.
He used to send it in MS Paint.
So, aside from the album coming out, is there any other updates on the band or anything else that's going on with you guys?
Eddie's gonna be Ocarina of Time for the first time today.
I've never even played it.
Oh, well, he never played it either until today.
No, I did play it. I was just 10, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking grab this chicken and jump off that cliff.
Yeah, you did. I'm gonna help my mom with this hole in this bird.
All right, gentlemen. I think we talked about enough then. We talked about Beaumont, holes in stomachs, a little bit of decent news, so on and so forth. Before we head out, I always like to leave a little space at the end in case you guys want to mention anything else before we go off air.
We want the damn album to be out.
I think that's been stated like 3 times so far.
We're really hung up on that, honestly. That's about it.
We just want to play live, that's it.
Yeah, we haven't done shows since before the pandemic. We also haven't been trying to get shows, so it's kind of on us entirely. But
the whole thing's on us, but yeah.
Everything is our fault.
We're excited.
This album's a lot like Shenmue. I think everyone's going to like it.
They're expecting it, but also disappointed.
They'll be like, this would have been cool like 20 years ago, but why the fuck do I have to drive a forklift for like an hour before I do anything else? It's like, yeah, that's what the album is.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning into the Brutal Resonance podcast. I'm Steve. They're Decent News, and we're going to be heading out now. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Steve. We're sorry.
We're sorry.